Hi, I'm Anthony Arisman, and this is the Urbana Leader. And today we have Cathy Weithman, who is running for family court judge.
It's probate, juvenile, domestic relations division of a common pleas court. It's commonly called the family court now.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
It is.
I'm so glad you said. You are from Urbana?
Originally from Bellefontaine. I've lived in Urbana for about 29 years now.
Good, good. And now, I wanted to ask you, are you married?
I am married. My husband Terry is also an attorney. He practices in Montgomery County in the Public Defender's Office. I have 2 stepchildren, Matt and Amy, 2 grandchildren, Eli and Gracie. Hi Eli, hi Gracie.
Good, good. Yeah, got to get the kids in there. Got to get the kids in there. All right, real quick. What made you want to run for judgeship?
Well, I've been practicing law here in Urbana for 30 years. I started in the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor at that time kindly and graciously gave me my start here, and I feel like I have something to give back to the community, so that's part of the reason that I'm running for judge. The other is I think I'm probably very qualified to do it also.
Okay. That's because you want to give back to the community.
I do, yes.
And for me, it's always been about, that in itself is usually its own reward. But was there anything that made the light go off for you? And I've asked other candidates this, was there anything that made that light go off for you and said, I should really run for this for this reason?
I don't think it was just one reason. There were probably several reasons. I think that I'm qualified to do it. I like doing it. I've done the majority of my general practice has been domestic relations, has been juvenile law. I've done some probate, so I think I have experience in all 3 areas that are going to be needed for the family court. I've also had legal experience, semi-judicial experience as a magistrate. So
You've done some magistrating before?
I've been a magistrate for 10 years. I do small claims work and the housing court in Champaign County Municipal Court.
That'll come in very handy. And I understand that this particular it's a new position that they
This
created.
one that I'm running for is a new position.
Right. And it's basically cradle to grave.
That's the concept that Justice Moyer has come up with the family court.
Good, good. And how is that different than the way they've been doing it now?
Oh, it's quite different. Right now, domestic relations is in General Division of Common Pleas Court. So General Division of Common Pleas Court has the criminal end, it has the civil end, and then it has the domestic relations. Probate and juvenile court, those are the 2 courts that are there now, deal with probate matters and juvenile matters. So what they're doing is they're taking the domestic relations part from the General Division and putting it in the family court.
Okay. Now was there anything specific in your background, in your general background, that makes you just so qualified for this position that we should all vote for you? How's that? Is that an easy way?
That's a kind of loaded question.
I have it written down here. It says, what in your background makes you the right candidate for the job? And I like the way you put it.
Well, it's the junior position, but I'm going to be the senior candidate that's running. I've earned every gray hair I have. I'm the oldest candidate running. Like I said, I've been practicing.
So a certain amount of wisdom.
I would hope with age, but sometimes it's not that way, but I would hope so. And the experience that I've had in all 3 areas of the family law, I think that made a light bulb go off and say, you can do this. You would be probably good at this because you have the background to do it.
Right. And and I think that, so many people let that opportunity go by. They get that light goes off, and for whatever reason they don't act on it. And then
it's gone.
Later, then it's gone, and later they think, oh darn, I really should have done that. I could have been something.
Could have been a contender.
I could have been a contender. What would you do differently if you were elected as a judge?
It's a whole new court, so the whole thing is going to be different. I would probably implement mediation programs. I think that's a necessity, particularly in the domestic relations. Our court,
Now, by domestic relations, you're talking about like
divorce,
divorces and
dissolutions,
stuff, right? And,
custody support.
and by mediation, you mean having people talk it out before they bring it to court?
With a mediator, somebody, a third party that they can talk to.
Right.
Because I think I found this out when I'm doing small claims court. A lot of times, they're not really upset at me if I rule against them because they just wanted to be heard. They want somebody to listen.
Right.
And a lot of times in domestic cases, if you get them past being angry at each other for whatever reason, and they can start dealing with the issues that they need to deal with, particularly if there are children involved. Another program that I think is necessary is parenting classes. I think we're about the only domestic relations court in the area that I know of that doesn't require parenting classes when they're going through domestic relations. We have it available, but it's not required. Clark County, Logan County, they require it, and it's helpful.
And I've heard a lot of good things about what Logan County has been doing.
Their Common Ground program?
Their Common Ground program. I've heard tons of good stuff about it. And now this is also part of it is also juvenile court.
Correct.
Right. Now, and I don't know where you stand on this, but I mean, are we going to? Someone else put it brilliantly, but are we going to start treating? Do we think that kids are rehabilitatable?
That's the whole premise generally historically behind juvenile court.
Right.
I think that most juveniles should be given a chance to try to figure out what they want to do with their lives. It's hard for them to decide that at 16 or 17. You may be heading down the wrong road.
Right.
So I think juvenile court gives them a unique opportunity to rehabilitate themselves. And they've got some good programs in place with our juvenile court now that I'd like to continue to do, to allow them to try to do that.
And so often the families are, I mean, here you have a court, and I really have been looking forward to having these two new judges, only because I have seen friends of mine and their friends and their kids go through such a hard time, and it, regardless of whose side you know, and everybody wants you to pick a side, oh, you're either on her side or his side, or you're on the kid's side, which is that's the side I'm usually on. I'm usually on the side of the kids, but there's a lot of turmoil, and and being able to get through that as quickly as possible, because I mean we can't chain them together. We can't chain together what just doesn't want to be together.
True.
And the quicker we can get it adjudicated and things settled, then people can actually go on
Hopefully with their lives.
in a better fashion, and hopefully maybe even retain some of whatever it was that brought them together in the first place, a monicum of friendship, and so that they'll be able to deal with. Because I mean, especially if you're young, I think that and you're going to have kids for 18 years plus,
Yeah, you're still going to have to
deal
with weddings, funerals,
weddings,
graduations,
and all those things. Yeah. So what do you see are the challenges are hitting the ground going into this?
Well, you always have to look at, particularly in the custody cases, what's in the best interest of the children. What's in the best interest of mom or what's in the best interest of dad may not be what's in the best interest of the children.
Right.
So you have to keep that paramount in your mind, that what you're dealing with is you want to do what's best for the children. And you will ask kids a lot of times, well, if you have to decide where do you want to go, their answer is going to be, well, I want mom and dad to get back together, and I want us to all be a family again. And you just have to explain that probably is not going to happen. So we have to deal with the realities, and it's not so hard.